every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
A very good evening to you and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. In our major story tonight, mixed grill judgment in Plateau and Delta State's election tribunal uphold Governors Lalong and Okowa's victory. Also in this program, federal government files fresh charges against former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambo Dasuki. And Center for Disease Control in Nigeria raises the alarm over rising cases of infertility. And outside Nigeria, massive earthquake hits Southeast Asia as hundreds are killed in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I am Nena Nyama. The Governorship Tribunal sitting in Jos has upheld the April 11 governorship election of Governor Simon Lalong of the All Progressive Congress, APC. In his ruling today in the Plateau State High Court, Justice Johnson Candida said the petitioner could not prove its case. Our correspondent, King Richard, tells us more in this report presented from our studios.
Our judgment. A chairman of the tribunal, Justice Johnson Candide, said the petitioner, the People's Democratic Party, abandoned their criminal case and concentrated on civil matters, pointing out that all the petitioner presented were documentary hearsay. The tribunal held that for overvoting to be proved, the petitioner needs to provide a witness. With this, the tribunal faulted the PDP for not providing witnesses from 8 wards consisting 89 polling units in Shandem, which is said was marred with irregularity, adding that the onus was on the petitioner to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. Speaking with journalists after the judgment, counsels to the APC and Governor Simon Lalong commended the tribunal chairman for giving attention to details.
My client has been declared, duly elected at the elections of 11th April 2015. I think a strong statement has been made that cases are decided in courts and not on the pages of papers or in radio houses or at the social media. I say this because a lot of speculative statements have gone out concerning this matter.
Well, the judgment has just been delivered. My reaction is that it demonstrates impartiality at the bench. Impartiality of members of the tribunal. Everything was sufficiently analyzed. Every question was sufficiently answered. Every detail was sufficiently examined. And a painstaking and comprehensive decision delivered.
Also, chairmen of the 2 political parties bear their minds on the outcome of the judgment. The PDP official, however, congratulated the governor for the first time since after winning the elections.
As APC, we are happy that we've gotten this victory. You know that the tribunal is a continuation of the election process. What you are not able to resolve on the field, you resolve at the tribunal. And we thank God that it has been resolved peacefully. in spite of all the insinuations that there was going to be war, that we believe that in Plateau State we cherish this so much.
Well, it's not my decision. We have to sit first as State Working Committee, then we'll get to our lawyers, whether the case is not going to appeal court or we'll now settle down as a people on Plateau State to give the needed support this young man needs to succeed.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Oviwo Igbuye, has held the judiciary as the protector of the oppressed over the ruling which upheld the April 11 governorship election of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa in Delta State. In a statement issued in Asaba by its Chief Press Secretary, Henry Ebireri, the Speaker described the April 11 governorship election as the fairest and freest in the history of the state. While congratulating the governor on his victory at the tribunal, Speaker Igbuye commended him for running a transparent and accountable government, as well as placing the state on the world map for growth and development. The Speaker also thanked the people for their confidence reposed on Governor Okowa, assuring them of the governor's reserve to further deliver the dividends of democracy to them. The Court of Appeal sitting in Kaduna has affirmed the election of former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso as the duly elected senator representing Kano Central Senatorial District. This was after it dismissed the appeal filed by Senator Bashir Garube and the People's Democratic Party for lack of merit. In dismissing the two appeals against the earlier verdict of the Election Tribunal, Justice Habib Abiru said the All Progressive Congress complied with Section 85 of the Electoral Act by giving INEC the mandatory 21-day notice of the primaries that led to the eventual substitution of Kwankwaso. Justice Abiru described the petition of the PDP and Senator Garube as meddlesome interlopers and stressed that their appeals had no merit. The Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Ibadan will on Tuesday deliver judgment on Senator Rasidi Ladoja's petition. Ladoja, the governorship candidate of the Accord Party, is challenging the victory of Governor Abiola Ajimobi of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in the April 11 polls. The counsel to the petitioner, Richard Ogunwole, urged the tribunal to nullify Ajimobi's election and declare his client as a winner of the election or order a rerun. Ogunwale claimed the election was marred by irregularities and malpractices, but counsel to Ajimobi, Wole Olanikpekun, urged the tribunal to dismiss the petition, saying they lacked merit and facts. Rivers State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has expressed shock over the People's Democratic Party's condemnation on the Nigerian judiciary following the recent court pronouncement that appeared not to favor the PDP and the candidates at the various election petition tribunals, especially the Akwa Ibom State and Rivers State. In what is unfolding as an all-out war, the PDP's National Working Committee, the National Public Secretary, Olisa Metu, and the various chapters of the PDP in Rivers and Akwa Ibom State have already thrown every caution in the rulebook to the wind. In a way, they are casting aspersions on the integrity of respected members of the bench, whose only offense is that their meticulous and balanced judgments have exposed PDP's fraudulent and violent escapades during the 2015 elections. The President is pleased with the manner the Senate has been conducting the ongoing ministerial nominees. It is also happy with the performance of those who have already appeared before the Senate. The Senior Special Assistant to the President of National Assembly Matters, Ita Enang, said this at a news conference in Abuja.
Let me also, through you, express our very sincere appreciation to His Excellency the President of the Senate, His Excellency the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki and Senator Dr. Ike Ekweremadu, the leadership of the All Progressives Congress, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party and all the minority and majority party members in the Senate for the painstaking nature and process of screening the nominees for ministerial appointments. They have shown in their handling of the matter on the floor of the Senate, their personal interactions, the reception of the senators in the course of the consultations and the course of talking to them, even outside the floor of the Senate, that have shown the candor and the real character, the characteristic nature of matured Senate.
The federal government has filed fresh charges against former National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki, at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The 5 amended charges bordered on money laundering and illegal possession of firearms, amongst others. The prosecution also listed a number of arms and ammunition found in Dasuki's home in the charge sheet. Abiola Oluwole has all the details of the story.
That the former National Security Advisor prosecuted for illegal possession of firearms is no longer news, but a new dimension has been introduced. Retired Colonel Dasuki came to court on Monday to find out that he will be facing an amended 5-count charge of illegal firearms possession and money laundering. The prosecution counsel also wants the court to allow witnesses to wear masks because of the sensitivity of the case, but the defense team is opposed to the use of such protective measures. After listening to the two sides, Justice Adeniyi fixed ruling for Wednesday. The prosecution counsel was also prepared to speak after adjournment, but the lead defense says he is keen on ensuring freedom of movement for his client within and outside the country during the trial.
Freedom to move around within and out of the country. So those are the things. The ruling will be given on Wednesday.
How prepared the defense for the new charge now?
No, we are yet to study it. It was read today.
One of the fresh charges against the former NSA centered around the discovery of $40,000, 5 million naira, and $20,000 at his number 13 John Kadia Street, Asokoro, Abuja residence on July 17th. Another charge bordered on the discovery of $150,000, 6.7 million naira, in his Sokoto residence the previous day. The government believed that the recovered funds are proceeds of money laundering. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Abuja.
British military officers are training 150 warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers in Kaduna State. The one-week training, according to the Nigerian Army authorities, is part of targets at training the caliber of officers that serve as a link between senior officers and men. Our correspondent Amina Nebi has more in this report presented from our studios.
For the next 1 week, these British soldiers will be building the capacity of senior non-commissioned officers of the Nigerian Army. It is an exercise that Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai says is apt because the participants form the bedrock of any army. According to General Buratai, there cannot be a professionally responsive Nigerian army without an equally effective warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers cadre. He was represented at the opening ceremony by the commander of the Infantry Corps, Major General Sanusi Muhazu.
We are going to have a highly professional army, just like in line with the Chief of Army Staff vision of having professional and responsive army that will operate within the constitutional frameworks. Now, the importance of training can never be emphasized. So if we are trained, meaning and professionally sound, meaning all the challenges we are facing, we face them squarely.
For his part, the leader of the British Military Advisory Training Team, Lieutenant Colonel Stewart Owells, who was once a senior non-commissioned officer himself, assured the participant of the best. He also noted that years of cordial bilateral ties made it easier for Britain to send a team of military experts to assist Nigeria in the fight against insurgency.
Of the history we have together and the fights we have had against our combined enemies throughout the wars. It therefore gives me a fantastic and great pleasure to work with the Nigerian Army staff assisting in the delivery of this command and leadership seminar to the backbone, the bedrock of Nigerian Army, the warrant officers and senior NCOs.
The training is part of effort by the Army authorities to meet the December deadline handed out by the President.
Governors in northern West Nigeria have expressed satisfaction with the recent performance of troops involved in counter-insurgency operations in the northeast of the country. They are also impressed by efforts to stop cattle rustling in their domain. Speaking after a closed-down meeting in Kaduna, the governors described the act as unholy. The leader of the Northwest Governors Forum, Aminu Masari, who lamented that youths was
have made to review the Kano, have made to review the progress so far with regards to the special operation that is going on in Dajin, Kamuku, Kuyambana, Rugu, and whatever it is called within the areas, and Dajin Falgore. So we have reviewed, and fundamental in our meeting is that we have agreed that the operation should continue beyond this month, and further details to be discussed with security agencies. If you have any question, please. This is brought by the security agencies themselves, and we noted the infiltration from northeast and northwest, and the measures are being taken to make sure that Boko Haram does not find any safe haven in northwest or any part of the country. This Kamoku Kuyambana extends from Senegal up to Central African Republic. So obviously that you can have sporadic attacks from time to time. So this has been dealt with, and we are dealing with the situation. With regards to cost, we will not know the cost until it is over.
The police in Kaduna have uncovered 5 camps of notorious cattle rustlers. They also recovered over 139 animals during the operation. The police spokesman Zubeiru Abubakar said in a statement that the operation was based on a tip-off. He added that the camps were uncovered at Katari, Jere, Tafa, Shikwali and Akilibu villages along Kaduna-Abuja Niger highways. The police spokesman, however, noted that the rustlers disappeared before the arrival of the operators, leaving behind 94 cows and 45 sheep. One locally made revolver rifle, empty AK-47 rifle magazine, knives, a military camouflage tracer, and a set house breaking tools. He also called on the people to provide useful information that may lead to the arrest of the rustlers. We'll take a break now and return with more stories. To stay with us.
It's a new dawn in Nigeria, and the mantra is change. The wind of change is blowing all over Nigeria and beckons to you. One sure way to respond is to perform your civic duty. Pay your tax. With taxes, government generates revenue to fulfill its electoral promises, ensure regular power supply, provide good security, standard education, medical care, true total change. Individuals and corporations enjoy specific benefits, rights and privileges for paying taxes and avoid the consequences and penalties of not paying. Oil revenue is no longer sufficient to bring desired change, but your tax can. It pays to pay your tax. A message from the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treating looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has your right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of our top stories. Mixed grille judgments in Plateau and Delta states as election tribunals uphold governors Lalong and Okowa's victory. Also, federal government files fresh charges against former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambo Dasuki. And Center for Disease Control in Nigeria raises the alarm over rising cases of infertility in the country. The Ife kingmakers in Osun State say the choice of Prince Adeyeye Nitongosi as a new Ooni of Ife is in line with the 1980 Ife Chieftaincy Declaration. Adeyeye Ogunwusi, a prince from Gasi ruling house of Ife, was approved the Ooni-elect by the state government to fill the vacant stool left by the passage of Oba Okunu Adesi Juade. Our correspondent Rashid reports from Ile-Ife.
The news of Prince Ogunwusi as the new Ooni of Ife was received amidst jubilation and fanfare by expectant residents of Ife. Security personnel and vehicles were on standby at Ile-Oòduà, the palace of the head of Yoruba race. With the latest news in Ife, it appears the contest for who becomes the 51st Ooni of Ife, which began about 3 months ago, has finally come to halt. Succeeding the late Ooni Oba Okun Adesiju Olubuse II is an heir from the Giesi ruling house, which was confirmed by the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Adepele Ojo.
You can see the community, you can see the town, there is a peace. Very soon, it's a people choice. And our advice to the Ife, both the indigenous of Ife from home and diaspora, that they should allow peace to reign, to join hand together with the new Ooni, so that what the Kabesi is have in his mind will become to the reality.
Following the announcement, it was all joy with singing and dancing. The chosen family therefore calls for peace and oneness for the benefit and development of Ife.
My subtle appeal to our people in Ile-Ife is to let us close ranks. Let us all come together and sue for peace. The moment there is peace, there will be progress.
It's going to bring in jobs opportunity for youth and for the elderly ones. And there is going to be roads, goods roads, and a lot of good amenities that is going to bring in.
With the emergence of the new Ooni of Ife, expectations in Ife holds that all issues surrounding the selection process will be laid to rest. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ile-Ife.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has congratulated Prince Adeyeye Nitongosi on his appointment as the new Ooni of Ife. Governor Ambode, in a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary Abib Aruno, admonished the new monarch to seize appointments as a call to service and to the upliftment of humanity. While charging Ogunwusi to be courageous in his decisions, Governor Ambode urged him to see the unity of the Yoruba race as a priority. The President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has called for true freedom in Africa for the continent to develop economically and educationally. He made a call while presenting a lecture during the 40th anniversary of University of Ilorin. Our correspondent Rashid has more in this report.
Growth and rapid development has been posing as great challenge to African countries despite attaining independence. The Ghanaian president lamented that the continent has never been free from colonialism and also blames past African leaders for their harsh method of governance, which he noted retarded the growth of their countries. He stressed that each country should have a plan to develop its education and economy to meet its peculiar needs.
The people of Africa are by and large our most valuable resource. Much has been written and spoken about the rest of the world's use and misuse of Africa's resource, and figures are even placed on these resources. When it comes to those other resources, we can measure our losses in very specific amounts. We know the worth of our oil, the worth of our gold, our cocoa, our diamonds, our silver. But what about people? What is the worth of our people? What is the value of our people? One of the Africans who travel abroad and build up other nations with their originality and creativity. One of the young people who were raised on African soil. They would be scholars who leave our land to study, live and work in other nations on other continents.
Also speaking, President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, urged private sectors to complement the effort of the federal government in education by investing to improve the education sector in the country.
I must also emphasize here that the federal government alone cannot meet the needs of higher education in Nigeria. The private sector must be encouraged to invest in research and development in the universities. This means that the universities must make themselves relevant to the private sector in order to attract funding. Therefore, the governing councils of universities must begin to think outside the box in order to reposition their universities for global competitiveness.
He also urged them to think outside the box in the funding and running of their campuses. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Ondo State Government has disbursed 120 million to 2,400 farmers, comprising 232 groups in the state under the Fadama 3 project additional financing. The State Governor Olusegun Mimiko disclosed this today during the official flag-up ceremony of Fadama 3 additional financing and presentation of checks to farmers in the state. Governor Mimiko, represented by his deputy Lasisi Luboyo, says the administration had spent over 5 billion naira to implement various agric-related programs in the last 6 years and also paid 380 million naira as counterpart contributions to the Fadama project from inception. According to him, one of the major policy thrusts of the 12-point agenda of his administration involves using agriculture to address problems of food security and youth employment confronting the society. He said the state had cultivated 1,384 hectares of farmland for the production of maize, cassava and cowpea, listing other initiatives under the aegis of Ondo State Cooperative Federation, Wealth Creation Agency, Ondo State Agricultural Commodities Association, among others. Infertility is the inability to conceive after 1 year of unprotected intercourse or the inability to carry a pregnancy to term. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, 12% of the population in their reproductive years are infertile. Our correspondent Nettie Labre has the details of this report presented from our studios.
Common misconception is that infertility is largely caused by women, but in fact, 50% of infertile cases and marriages are related to the male, either alone or in addition to a female partner. For the CEO, Nadika Facility Center, the organization was created to provide comprehensive research and fertility issues to couples and help prefer a solution through intravitreal fertilization.
In this part of the world, 1 out of every 4 or 5 couples will face the challenge of infertility at a point in their lifetime. And this has necessitated the appreciable demand for assisted reproductive technology.
For women under 35 years old, the number of babies born as a result of fertility treatment is as high as 1 in 3, even with the high cost of treatment associated. Research, however, shows that the stress associated with fertility treatment can be at a level comparable to the stress associated without serious illness. Meanwhile, earlier beneficiaries of the free fertility treatment by Fertility Treatment Support Foundation chose to share their success stories.
Our stories spanned 17 years. Out of those 17 years, we did IVF for 11 years, and then we succeeded on the 11th attempt. We are proud parents of a 2-year-old daughter, a future beauty queen, very smart, very intelligent, which goes to show that IVF babies are normal babies.
We have been trying to encourage other citizens who are in that challenge. That's why we came up with our session called FAD, Facility Awareness Advocacy Initiative. In that session, we encourage other people who are having that challenge. We educate ourselves, make them citizen, and understand that IVF babies are very normal and are complete.
For couples opting for fertility treatment, medical personnel usually advise them to take fertility drugs which aids conception. Since many couples can hardly afford it, the Fertility Support Foundation conducted a raffle draw which saw the emergence of 17 families across Nigeria to get free fertility treatment. Ruth Onwa was elated she made the winners list.
When I came in, all the while I've been calling it on, there was nobody in the whole administration. But later, they said they give opportunity for 2 other people. So I'm happy that I'm one of the winners.
The non-government organization Fertility Support Foundation, who championed the free treatment campaign, has called for the support of government and all the stakeholders in a bid to put more smiles on the faces of fertility-challenged couples.
Still on health, the Nigerian Medical Association wants health authorities in the country to do more to promote effective immunization against killer childhood disease. It also commended international agencies, including the United Nations Children's Fund, for its role in preventing large-scale death of children under the age of 5 years. NMA President Kayode Obembe, who spoke on the sidelines of the annual Physician Week in Abuja, noted that over 400 children die daily across the world from preventable disease like measles. The World Health Organization is preparing to declare Nigeria polio-free. It, however, wants authorities to maintain policies that let the country out of the list of white poliovirus endemic countries. WHO's Regional Director for Africa, Matshidiso Moeti, who gave the indication at an event to mark the World Polio Day in Abuja, said Nigeria's efforts at eradicating polio is a confidence booster for Pakistan and Afghanistan, the 2 other endemic nations. She also called for sustained surveillance at all levels to prevent gaps in the interventions measures.
2014, and immunization reflects on the near success story of our nation in her dogged determination and struggles to eradicate polio, measles, and other vaccine-preventable illnesses, and the dissection of the potentialities of the relevant provisions of the National Health Act 2014, and also revitalizing immunization activities vis-à-vis expected roles of members of the medical professions in actualizing that act.
After breastfeeding and access to clean water, immunization is the most highly effective intervention for protecting babies from infectious diseases. This forms the background upon which the Nigerian Medical Association decided to dedicate this year's week-long Physicians Week to discuss immunization. Vaccine-preventable diseases account for approximately 22% of child deaths in Nigeria, amounting to over 200,000 deaths every year. Despite vaccines being provided free, many thanks to international organizations and our local NGOs, and indeed the Nigerian government itself, many Nigerian parents neither appreciate nor realize the importance of vaccinating our children.
We'll go on another break now, return with more stories in foreign and sports news. Just stay with us.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it is time to forgive me.
Please Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back. On the foreign scene, a powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake has struck in northern Afghanistan, killing 249 persons in northern India and Pakistan. The U.S. Geological Survey put the epicenter of Monday's quake near Jam in Afghanistan's northeast as 250 kilometers from the capital Kabul and at a depth of 213 kilometers. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, cut short his visit to the United Kingdom to fly home to deal with the emergency. A resident of Pawan province in northern Afghanistan, Hikmat Fasi, said a quake caused a lot of damage in the area. Residents said strong tremors were also felt in New Delhi and Islamabad as authorities in India and Pakistan issued warnings for strong aftershocks. 7 suspected Islamic State of Iraq and 11 ISIL fighters and 2 Turkish policemen have been in a shootout after officers raided several houses in the Kurdish majority city of Diyarbakir. Turkish police on Monday entered several houses in the district of the southeastern city, which is suspected were being used by ISIL when the suspects opened fire. The police officers were killed after booby traps planted around one of the houses exploded. An AFP journalist at the scene said heavy shooting during the dawn operation lasted for at least 2 hours. And now to sports.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Usain Bolt storming through it. Puyol with a flying lead.
Go, taking them out in the lead.
The defending champions Nigeria's Golden Eaglets will face Australia on Wednesday in the round of 16 at FIFA 17 World Cup in Chile. Nigeria finished top of Group A with 6 points, while Australia finished third in Group C. The winners of Wednesday's game will advance to the quarterfinals to face the winners of another quarterfinal between Brazil and New Zealand. And finally, UEFA General Secretary Gianni Infantino has entered the FIFA presidential election race just hours before the deadline for candidates. Infantino joined suspended UEFA boss Michel Platini in the bid to replace outgoing President Sepp Blatter, aged 79. Platini has maintained that he will stand despite FIFA saying it cannot recognize its vice president's candidacy while his 90-day ban is in place. In a statement today, European football's governing body UEFA said it is delighted that Gianni has agreed to stand, pledging full support for his campaign to become FIFA president. South Africa's Tokyo sexwell Prince Ali bin Al Hussein of Jordan, former Trinidad and Tobago international David Marquardt, former FIFA Deputy General Secretary Jerome Champagne, and Liberia's FA President Musa Beliti have also disclosed that they had formally submitted their bids. And that's it on CoreTV News, but before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. Missed drill judgment in Plateau and Delta States, the Elections Tribunal uphold Governors Lalong and Okora's victory. Also in this program, federal government files fresh charges against former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambo Dasuki. And Center for Disease Control in Nigeria raises the alarm over rising cases of infertility. Thank you so very much for staying with me tonight. I am Nena Nyamadu. Have a lovely night rest.